Power chords. Power music. Their first album burst rock at its seams.
All right, from Gainesville.
They sang songs about love, about Vikings, about Vikings making love. You know, they say that Led Zeppelin sold their souls to Satan. Come on, guys, you know you did.
You keep going. Do you quit when you're down 1-0 in debates? No.
Look at Obama. Obama's up there.
Better than the Beatles? Better than the Stones? Even better than Tenacious D. Yeah. It's the rock and roll Hajj. The thing that every true fan must do at least once in their lifetime. The pilgrimage to heavy metal Mecca. I just want to say thank you because while you're in hell, the human race will cherish your heavenly jams till the end of time. It's a small price to pay. We love you. Best band ever. Complex, beautiful, and dangerous. Rock giants who strode the world for 10 years. Robert Plant grew up in England's Midlands. American blues was his everything. He formed a group with his friend John Bonham. John had been playing drums since he was 5. Jimmy Page, the top guitarist in London's recording sessions. It was there he met John Paul Jones. Jonesy could play anything. Jimmy's band was breaking up, and he asked Jonesy to form a new one. They went looking for a lead singer. And found the raw blues they were looking for. John Bonham made it 4. Power chords. Power music. Their first album burst rock at its seams.
And it was fucking made fucking illegally. Underground record.
Around the world they went. Like gods of rock unleashing the power of music. Setting nights on fire.
There's a lady who's sure all that glitters is gold, and she's buying staring to hear
Their music brought us to paradise.
if the stores are all closed.
Masters, one and all. Jimmy Page stole the lightning from the heavens. Robert Plant, seduced like the devil. John Paul Jones made poetry out of every note. And John Bonham was a man on fire. His death broke the heart of the band. And a chapter of rock history had come to a close. Now 3, they followed separate paths. Plant traveled from the sands of Marrakesh to the bluegrass of Tennessee. Jones put his talents to work behind the music, producing and scoring. And Page remains rock's premier virtuoso. Just one more time, 27 years later. They had us all over again. Taking the seat of his dad, Jason Buck. A band like no other. They shook the world of rock, and those vibrations can still be felt today.
Yeah.
This weekend in Washington, D.C. to receive the Kennedy Center honors. This is their new CD, DVD entitled Celebration Day. It's in stores now. What are we doing here? Please welcome Robert Plant, Jimmy Page, and John Paul Jones.
Oh, I did have a terrible back. Thank you, honey.
Oh, they all want to get as far away from David as they can.
Thank you very much.
I guess John Paul's really got to
What do
get
you
far.
think? Congratulations. Robert, I've met before from the show. Jimmy and I had never met, nor had John and I had met, but it was fun, wasn't it?
It was great, yeah. It was really so easy compared to the, something that goes on over the river, over the water there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty stiff there.
Yeah, you've all received comparable awards in your home country? No. Oh, well. It was good to see everybody.
Nice player there.
Yeah. And then you were nice enough to come up here and visit with us again this evening. Thank you very much. Now, Buddy Guy also receiving the Kennedy Center. I know Buddy Guy through Paul Schaefer, who brought Buddy Guy here early on in the 80s when we started the show, and he's been here many times. Buddy Guy is a name that influenced everybody when you were kids?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. When we, like for example, Jeff Beck and myself, we were still probably teenagers when we heard Buddy Guy, but just hearing the I remember being with Jeff and playing the vinyl with which is called Folk Festival of the Blues, where Buddy Guy's really young on it, and he's playing with Muddy Waters, the Sonny Boy Williamson, etc. Howling Wolf, but he sings 2 songs on it, and just the whole delivery and the passion and the drama and this guitar is just out of this world.
Now these names that you mentioned, Sonny Boy
Williamson,
Howlin' Wolf, Buddy Guy, Muddy Waters. Now these men seem to have had tremendous influence on British musicians early on. Do we know, Paul, help out here, did they also have the same kind of influence on young American musicians?
Absolutely, but I think it was the Brits that really brought that music back over to us and inspired us to start appreciating it, where it was underappreciated for so long.
Oh, yeah.
So, guys?
You had some main movers. I mean, Canned Heat. There was some guys who went out and brought some of the guys from the Delta who'd sort of given the game up. And they brought them back to the Newport Folk Festival in the early mid-60s, something like that. Yeah.
I think it's fascinating that and you guys were in your teens, just out of high school, more or less, when you started, that you're influenced by this relatively obscure group of blues musicians from the United States. It's just wonderful. And now it's all come full circle many times for them. And who else was in your class of rock and roll bands?
Well, from Newport, Virginia, Gene Vincent with the Blue Caps. And Brian Setzer with his big orchestra, he's like a complete aficionado of the Vincent catalog. Cochrane, and the King.
Stray Cats,
Elvis.
that was, yeah.
We met him. The three of us, four of us, met him in about 1973.
Now, how was that in terms of personalities?
Well, he had a lot of chicks. So he got something going on, but
so you had that in common with Elvis. A lot of things. But I mean, to be in London when you guys were kids and all of the music going on and the Rolling Stones and the Kinks and the Beatles and the Who and I mean, there's never been anything like that, has there?
Were there other bands? I don't remember.
Did you all know one another? Would you hang out? Would you visit? Would you gig with one another? Would you work on each other's music?
How many no's do you want?
How many no's?
We basically saw each other in airports.
Is that about it?
That's about it.
Yeah. So the music never intersected. Nobody ever called up and said, "I'm doing a record. Would you like to come over and play on this record, and then we can do that on your record?" Or
well, these guys worked together a lot. Me and Bon, I was working on the
Mike
Blacktop,
Lily wants to love.
and Bonham was stealing cars. I mean, we were busy in another part of the world altogether. Really, these guys were kind of high flying. Playing on lots of people's records and stuff.
Had you mentioned the part about stealing cars to the Kennedy Center people?
How long did it take us to get in there? I got mine. They thought I was born in 1960. Well, of course I was, but I mean...
That's me! Say
It took ages to clear that one up.
And then a tremendous success. The band, you guys, 12 years is about the run of the band. Is that right?
Yeah.
1980, the drummer dies, sadly, tragically, and you call it quits. Some people would say, well, sadly, we'll move on, but we'll get another drummer. That never crossed your minds, huh?
No, it wasn't. The fact was that, you know, we had the records out, and when and then we put the songs into the set, and that was just it was almost like another beginning for the second wind for the songs, because they were changing every night with the improvisation we were putting in, and there was no way with the amount of work and mutation that had gone on with those songs that we could say to another drummer, well, can you learn this bit and learn that bit? It just wouldn't work. You know?
Jack Black, when you guys were being saluted last night, did a tremendous job, and he said that your music was about sex, was about Vikings, was about Vikings having sex.
Oh my God. Classic.
Is that a good evaluation?
Well, we've left all the furs in the dressing room. I don't know, you know. But, in fact, what do we use furs for nowadays? Oh, to keep warm. Yeah. I can't remember much about that, David. Really.
You missed a bit about Vikings having sex with hobbits.
Now, I want to tell you, I have two pictures here that say so much about you, about the world, about culture, and about how time changes people and moves on. This is less than 24 hours ago, this photo. Here you are with the President of the United States. That was last night. $1973, got your own airplane, and you don't need to button your shirts for takeoff. Oh my God.
Matinee.
Yes.
Is it the same kind of meaning that we have for a matinee?
I don't know.
I said the way you swing, make you bang, gonna make you stay.